While Prince Harry can't recall what was said on the phone call, he did think about how he could regret how brief their last conversation was for the rest of his life. The 1997 death of Princess Diana shocked the globe. But one essential aspect has long perplexed investigators. Her last call. To whom did she speak? What said she? Could this last discussion explain what happened that fateful night in Paris? Remember all her positive qualities and maybe show people a new side of her. In this video, we investigate Diana's final hours and how her last words may reveal her dying circumstances. Stay tuned as we solve this terrible mystery. Princess Diana's dying hours. Diana, Princess of Wales, died early on August 31, 1997, shocking the world. A devastating vehicle catastrophe in Paris' Pont d'Alma tunnel killed the beloved princess, recognized for her kindness, grace, and strong connection with the public. Her boyfriend, Dodi Fayed, and driver, Henry Paul, were in the Mercedes-Benz that crashed. Diana was taken to a hospital where she struggled for her life but died. Both males were confirmed dead at the spot. Only Fayard's bodyguard, Trevor Rees-Jones, survived the crash despite significant injuries. Investigations began shortly after the accident. A 1999 French investigation found that Henry Paul was driving dangerously while drunk and on medicine. He crashed due to alcohol, according to the report. Paul, the deputy director of security at the Paris Hotel Ritz, reportedly teased paparazzi outside before speeding off with Diana and Dodi. Later, toxicology findings showed antidepressants and antipsychotics in his circulation, affecting his judgment. Operation PAG, a 2008 British inquest, reached a similar conclusion. By extreme negligence, Henry Paul and the photographers who trailed the automobile that night killed Diana and Dodi. Initial reports said Rees-Jones survived because he was wearing a seatbelt, but later reports said none of the occupants were. The British royal family was criticized for their slow response to Diana's death. The monarchy, especially Queen Elizabeth II, was seen as aloof and chilly throughout the national grief. The Queen finally spoke on television under public pressure, acknowledging Diana's influence and giving sympathies to the bereaved. Diana's memory lives on decades after. Besides her royal status, she is renowned for her kindness, humanism, and warmth. Her influence shapes the monarchy today, has observed her son's philanthropic attempts to honor her. The People's Princess symbolizes love, resilience, and compassion despite her terrible death. Princess Diana made calls hours before her fatal tragedy. One call may have caused her death. Let's examine her last calls. Final calls of Princess Diana. She called her journalist friend Richard Kay hours before Princess Diana's fatal tragedy. She called his cell phone in the afternoon of August 30th, curious about what the newspapers will write about her on Sunday. Her tone was inquiring, but she didn't seem ready to disclose anything. The eldest sister, Lady Sarah McCorquodale, told a more compelling story. Later, she testified that her sister had commented about her connection with Dodi Fayed to Diana on August 29th, suggesting things were not going well. Sarah sensed Diana's concerns and the romance's instability. Others close to the princess agreed, including her beloved butler, Paul Burrell, long-standing friend Lady Annabel Goldsmith, and spiritual advisor Rita Rogers. Everyone insisted that Diana did not want to get engaged or remarry at that time. She had made it obvious she would not commit. "I need marriage, like a rash on my face," she said Goldsmith a week before her terrible demise. A statement that could not be misinterpreted. Diana preferred independence over marriage. Former Private Secretary Patrick Jefferson sheds light on her mood that fateful evening. After watching CCTV footage of Diana at the Ritz Hotel in Paris on her last night, he noticed that her face looked familiar when she was upset. This made me wonder how she felt in her final hours. However, there was another angle. More CCTV footage from October 6 that shows Diana and Dodi moments before the crash. In these photos, the couple walked hand in hand with ease and tenderness. They didn't look upset or arguing. Quite contrary. This duo seems to love one another's company. In those final hours, how did Diana feel? Were her feelings for Dodi conflicting? Was she swept up in media speculation and personal turmoil? These questions continue to inspire debate, adding to the mystery of her exceptional life's end. Princess Diana's terrible death, unrelated to her royal divorce, garnered global attention. Explore Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer's love story, the unrequited romance. Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer met unexpectedly in the summer of 1980. Diana, 19, sat on a bale of hay with Charles at a barbecue at a New Grove House party. Charles's great-uncle, Lord Mountbatten, was killed by the IRA a year earlier. Diana offered her condolences with honesty that moved Charles. "Watching the funeral broke my heart for you. Thought it was wrong. You're alone. Someone should watch over you." Just what Charles needed to hear. The comment struck a nerve, giving him a rare emotional solace. Diana had been his ex-girlfriend's younger sister till then. Pleasant, cheery, but unimportant. He viewed her as a life partner for the first time. They met before. Charles, who dated Diana's older sister Lady Sarah, visited the Spencers in 1977. Diana spent a weekend at Sandringham in early 1979 and attended his 1978 30th birthday party at Buckingham Palace. Nothing ever ignited between them. That changed following their 1980 heart-to-heart. Charles soon invited Diana to Balmoral, the royal family's Scottish estate. Her charm, humour, and apparent love for the prince won over everyone there. Aristocratic, Anglican, and royal, she suited the mold of a future queen without past relationships. The 1980s saw a shortage of suitable aristocratic women who met the rigid ideal of the perfect bride. Diana seemed fated, but their passion was public. Diana's life altered immediately when the press discovered their romance. Paparazzi followed her every move outside her London flat, preventing her and Charles from getting to know each other behind the scenes. The two had rarely spent any time alone while the world fixated over a royal wedding. Charles was under pressure from his father, Prince Philip, outside the media. Charles was anticipated to settle down and have an heir in his 30s. Prince Philip wrote him a formal message in early 1981, telling him to commit to Diana or go. Charles misinterpreted the royal family's formal, impersonal communication. It was advice, but he thought he was being told to marry her. He proposed in Windsor Castle on February 6, 1981, feeling trapped. Not love, but duress drove the decision. Diana later revealed that they had only met 13 times, mostly in groups, before their engagement. They knew each other little. The fairy tale image quickly collapsed. Diana, who had been freewheeling with her London friends, was now secluded in Buckingham Palace. The vibrant, confident girl who charmed Charles at Balmoral disappeared. She was replaced with a young woman suffering from loneliness, insecurity, and life control issues. Her emotions rose. Royal chronicler Penny Junot said the shift from everyday life to royalty was too abrupt and made her anxious and suspicious of Charles' whereabouts. Charles was overwhelmed. He left, overwhelmed by royal obligations and unsure how to handle Diana's emotional issues. The world's celebrated marriage was a sad mismatch. Two people forced together by expectation, not love. Millions witnessed their wedding, believing in the magical story. However, fissures were growing beneath the surface. This love tale was doomed from the start due to pressure, miscommunication, and royal tradition. Learn about their marriage. Diana's tragic love story. Diana's marriage to Prince Charles began lonely and difficult. She joined royal life as a young wife expecting support and love from her husband,